This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Very nice of you to all come out to Margaritaville. What a spectacular weather day. It's hard to imagine that 2 weeks ago it was 35-ish degrees and we were freezing our tuchuses off that we had to go inside because we're a bunch of Florida sissies that can't put up with the cold weather.
I know, but
it was cold.
That was cold. That was cold even by New York standards.
It's so nice.
Cold. It wasn't freezing, but it was cold.
So nice of you to be here today. What brings you here and gives us the pleasure of having you join us on Saturdays? What?
I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
With this chair.
You forgot how to do the show?
No, there's something going on with this chair.
It is a regular chair.
No.
Oh, you don't want to. You need a towel to.
What is going on with? What did you do something to that chair?
What do you mean? Dear, we're live on the air. What are you doing?
Chair.
I mean.
No, it's so. When I used to ride my bike on the power lines, I'm riding the bike underneath the power lines, and if you got too close to the power lines, you would get tiny little shocks going through the metal frame of your bike. It feels like the same thing here.
Can we start the show over?
So
I have no idea what you're doing
here.
here. I mean, what is wrong with you? You sure you don't want to go back home and let me do the show myself? How would I shock the chairs? That's how this is. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to shock the chairs.
That's how you are. So anyways, I came down. Well, I wanted to see all of our friends because I never see the Saturday people anymore. So I'm happy to see all of the Saturday people. And then I might have to stop by and see our grandson.
Yes, because our grandson and the whole family lives quite close to the beach, so it's nice for you to come down. And just to give everyone an update on the other things going on, tomorrow's show at Wahoo Willie's will be with the town manager. Will is coming in and sitting in for Dan because Dan is on a work project in Punta Gorda. There must be like a big boy toy show going on in Punta Gorda. Slight distraction to our left here. You can't see it on the Facebook, but they brought the putt and pub, whatever that is, golf hole up, and they put it right here where we do our show. It is being dismantled today.
Oh, it is?
Yes. You know why? Because I don't know if you remember, if you were part of the whole putt and pub thing, there actually used to be an alligator, and that thing sticking up there used to have something attached to it. And the one day that it's been up there, the alligator was stolen, and the piece that was attached to it.
Are you kidding?
Somebody's going back to Ohio with an alligator in their bag. So,
are you kidding?
Yeah.
Somebody stole it?
Yeah. So, and there's a slight possibility that if parents don't pay attention, I mean, the little kids love this thing.
Listen, if you have the alligator, send it back.
Yeah, that was uncalled for. So Sunday show at 10 o'clock will be with the town manager. Also, the fashion show for the Community Foundation is today. It starts at 11 o'clock at Santini Plaza. And also, if you're heading down that way, you can stop by the Estero Island Historical Society because Ellie is doing something called Diving into the Decades. And she does great presentations over there. That's behind the beach school that will most likely soon be knocked down, but that's a whole different story. If you go over by Bay Oaks and by the beach school, the Estero Island Historical Society at 11 o'clock called Diving into the Decade. So I should have brought up a cushion today for my chair.
I know,
because,
you and I are a hot mess up here.
The whole sciatica thing is just not getting any better.
It's sciatica.
I thought the only thing I didn't get, I thought I was repairing myself because I do the ice thing and then the heating pad. I think the heating pad works better than anything. The only thing I didn't get yet was one of those machines where you lay in the machine and it turns you upside down.
Oh, yeah, the inversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get one of those.
You're also going to get a TENS unit, but here's a trick. If
Yeah.
you two things, one, you would go to the doctor. They have them nowadays, and they
Yeah.
actually do a diagnosis, and you can actually treat it effectively. And secondly, if you would stop going to the gym,
Yeah.
that would probably help. But
think
that's your free advice.
The last time I went to the doctor was 10 years ago, and my goal is I want to walk into the doctor's office for him to tell me, you're going to die today. And that's it. That's the last time I want to go to the doctor's office. I just want to go in one day and for him to say, sorry, but I'm going to have to put you to sleep, sir.
Well, I can call Dr. Julie, our vet. She might be able to do that for me.
So your vet?
Yeah.
Can you kill people with the same kind of pill? Today's show, by the way, is sponsored by the Pancake House, UPS, the UPS store in Santini Plaza, and Oscar on the Gulf.
Yeah.
What are you making a face at?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So last night, if you want something entertaining to watch and you're really bored,
I'm telling you.
all right. Well, John can sit in the middle because I'm sure he likes the electronics. So I don't know what you're talking about, but he'll let us know if this is a normal chair or not. Come on up, John. I could tell the story. John McLean, everybody, who will explain why John is on the show today. This is the last Saturday you're coming to. You shouldn't be nervous, John.
No, I think it's.
We had a guy. There's a Cape Coral is a whole different animal. They have 4 people running for District 6 over there, and the guy that we had on last night, his job was. I've never interviewed an embalmer that is running for like a municipality. He was an embalmer, and then he went and worked for EMS. So he went from, filling.
I think it went
bodies.
the other way. But
no,
he
that's
was
the way he
a
explained
firefighter
Yeah.
and an embalmer.
And so
now he is a
wait. Well, let me finish this. It was my story.
He's an Uber driver.
Yeah. So now he said before the show, he told us it's so hard to get a job in Cape Coral because everybody tells me I'm overqualified for all these jobs. And so I said, well, what do you do now if you're so overqualified? He goes, well, I'm an Uber driver during the day and I deliver pizzas at night. And I'm thinking, okay, well, all right, it's just a whole different thing over there.
Got so many.
It was so entertaining.
It was
night.
entertaining.
Yeah. You got a high bar today to be entertaining. Wait, I guess you turn your mic on too.
He's got the most unique pets. He's got prairie dogs as pets.
Yeah, we did some research to see.
I thought it was a squirrel, but it's prairie dogs.
Yeah. So John McLean.
Do you have a prairie dog, John?
I have a little dog, not a prairie dog.
So
I have a Cuban dog.
Gotta make sure.
And that counts.
There we go. Turn your mic up there. So John, we've known each other for several years. You've been on the show.
Yep.
Before you were scheduled to come on the show a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
Can you feel comfortable telling the story about?
Well,
what
happened? It's about my dog. So you know how you end up kind of looking like, you end up looking like your dog after a period of time. So my dog has a bad back, and because of that, I got to carry him up and down the stairs instead of letting him walk up and down the stairs. And just so you know, we finally got back into our house the week before Christmas, but it's still a construction zone. There's not real stairs. There's temporary wood stairs. And taking the dog down the stairs late at night, I flipped on my flip-flops and ended up on my back, and the dog ended up on my stomach. So he was just fine, but I kind of banged up my back a bit. So that was what happened.
And did you go to the doctor?
I was in the hospital for 2 days.
Don't you like my theory, though? The last time you go to the doctor is the last time you go to the doctor. I mean, I hope it's not next week or anything. Is what I'm saying. I mean. But,
yeah, no, I'm one of those guys that's planning on stockpiling some stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
So just a little bit of history about what's going on here on the beach, in case you're not paying attention. The town council has an open seat. Jim Adderholt resigned at the end of last year, so he has 3 years-ish left on his term as of last November. There are 3 people that are interested in that seat, John being one, Jim Bone being another that we interviewed 2 weeks ago, and then last week, Tom Brady. So all 3 are interested in that seat, and this seat will be appointed. It will be filled on Tuesday, not Monday because of President's Day, but on Tuesday by the town council. Hopefully it'll be filled. I mean, there is a chance that they are at a stalemate and they just decide to wait until the election. And then this seat, along with John King's seat and Rebecca's Link's seat, will all be on the ballot in November. So it's basically for whatever's left until November. So John, you originally were not going to put your name into the hat, and because you were supportive of your fellow LPA member, and then
So originally, I actually was supportive of Jim Dunlap's, looking to be appointed to the position, and then when he decided that he wasn't going to do that, I thought that there was a bit of a vacuum, and that I had the interest and I think the skills in the background to be able to throw my hat into the ring. So I did at that point in time. And at that point, it was really, we were running basically kind of the Tom Brady, and it was Jim was the way that it was kind of lined up to. And then Jim Bone came into the picture afterwards.
Also on the LPA.
On the LPA. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your history here, coming to the beach, and then what you reference that you feel like you have the skills and abilities and experience. So tell us a little bit about that too.
So we've owned on the beach since 2014 and lived full-time here since 2019. We love the beach. We absolutely love it for all the same reasons everybody else does, right? And then what happened was Hurricane Ian hit, and I was really interested in figuring out how does a town recover from something like this, because I had no experience in municipal government, really hadn't done anything like that before. I was focused on my family and my career and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Ian, I was planning to retire in November of that time. So I just had such an interest and a drive to try and understand and help. That I started going to every single town council meeting. I went to every LPA meeting. I just got involved and got very, very interested into it. And then was lucky enough to get appointed to Scott Safford's seat when he moved over to town council. And so that's been my experience with the LPA. I really enjoy that. And I think that this is an opportunity to take what I've learned there and apply it at town council, where obviously the mandate's a little bit bigger than just land development, but it's extremely important. So
now, did you end up retiring? You said you were getting ready to retire.
Yeah, I had to think about it because Ian was a bit of a change in the way we all thought we were going to be moving forward. But I did retire in that November. And
what did you retire from?
I was an executive with AT&T. We did business continuity, cloud services, security services, things like that.
In your best year at AT&T, how much money did you make?
Oh, for love's sake.
Billions.
Yes, very nice. Awesome.
Well, I know probably based just off of our damn phone bill you did.
No, I was really lucky that I'd always been involved in like the data center expansion business and business continuity. So that it was a very good business to be in.
What do you think of like if you have a Nest camera and you don't have a subscription?
Oh, here we go.
And then all of a sudden the FBI can go back and figure out through where the camera takes these pictures and drops it in these servers, that the FBI can go back and pull that information off a server when you don't even have a subscription and find the perp. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Anytime you're looking at data, you have to be worried about security. But that said, I personally don't worry about that stuff too much.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I think it's more important that I know who's out front of my door than anything else that could happen.
Did you see the Super Bowl commercial about finding the dogs?
I did.
Totally. And Google has, I think it was Google, they totally have abandoned Flock.
Oh, they bailed out on it.
Yeah, because they saw how the negative
backlash.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know Flock, those cameras that you see on the bridges here on Fort Myers Beach that are flat, that are, I think they're solar powered, that are reading your license plates as you come on and off the island, those are Flock cameras. And the reason that they're there is not to, they say not to track people, but the reason that they're there is if somebody commits a crime on the beach and they drive off, they can look for license plates. That's what they say. I mean, I don't believe any of it. I believe people are looking at me in the shower. That's what I believe. I mean, it's just.
Believe you. Not even I want to look at you in the shower, dear.
I honestly
think
don't
there's
believe
a camera in my soap. But you just have to realize. Like, did you see the Fox the video that Sean Hannity posted like where the
I
the
showed you
elected
that.
official
Oh,
beat the
that
crap
was
out of the
brutal.
I think it was yesterday. If you don't understand that everybody has a camera and you're being videotaped no matter where you are, then you're a fool. No matter what you do, they're gonna find a camera.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that they found a camera in one of the rest areas or something over on Sanibel at one of the parks. Somebody
I remember
had,
that. Yeah,
remember that?
I remember that.
I
They had
mean,
it
so
in,
now every time I like to go out on the trails and use the parks, as soon as I go in every bathroom, I'm like, okay, where could
Yeah.
something be hidden? Because
Right.
you know, it's,
Right.
it's
So-
weird.
So what you're saying is your full force surveillance of all individuals. That's what you just said.
I did not say that. I said I believe that no matter where you go, every single person here has
Yeah.
a camera on them at all
Yeah.
points in time, and that's the way it is. So
What is back to the issues? Although that's fun.
Yeah.
What is your overall take of how the whole recall thing went down?
I was against it, and I was pretty vocal about it. It's not that it was illegal what they did. I just think it was a misuse of the statute. I don't, let me put it this way. For complete unsubstantiated reasons, they were disparaging John and Karen without any proof. And I felt that it was a misuse of that tool. I really did.
Do you think any of the three things they alleged against John and Karen are true?
I personally don't, knowing them, but more importantly, there wasn't any basis for them. There was no proof given at all. And in fact, as you pointed out multiple times, it was all about Seagate. I mean, it was 100% about Seagate.
Right.
And that didn't seem right to me. So, and quite frankly, I understand why people would feel strongly and think that it's within their rights to do so. Fine. I mean, but personally, I didn't support it.
And now it seems like there's some pressure being put on the three remaining council members. Because Rebecca, no offense or anything, but she is a product of the recall. So there is pressure being put on the other three that Tom has to be the person that is appointed to that position because of what happened. And how do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, Rebecca and I spoke during the recall, and she and I worked together at a part of the Let's Go FMB. I was head of the residential group at that, and she was working permits with me. We met with the town, and I have a good working relationship with her. And I said to her, Rebecca, it's not going to change. We will still be friends and everything else, but I just can't support you in it. And we walked away cordial, and it's fine. I mean, if I'm selected, I won't have any issues working with her. Do I believe that there's a mandate for Tom Brady? No, I don't. I think that was a recall. That's done. And quite frankly, what we'll see is a proper election come the fall, and each of us will campaign.
When you saw Veach for the Veach make that offer to pull the appeal, what did you think?
I didn't understand why he would do that, honestly.
Why
I
not
really
do it
didn't
now?
Understand. The whole thing to me is a mystery, and I don't understand it.
Now, speaking of Seagate, you voted yes for Seagate.
I did, yeah.
Okay. So how do you think that plays into your platform and your stuff going forward? Do you think there's, going to be pushback from some of these people? Do you want to, what was your impetus for saying yes?
Sure. I mean, I have to be a little bit careful about what I say because I don't want to open the town up to any liability. I'm obviously on the LPA. But what I said on the record at the time was that there really wasn't an increase in density. And to me, that was extremely important for that parcel. When we look at these projects as they come out, you sort of understand what the project is in its entirety. Do I think that 17 stories was a great idea for that? No, but I also don't think 450 hotel rooms and the impact that could have on our infrastructure and traffic would have been a good choice either, or building on the beach, or having areas that were open and available for the public. So, I mean, on whole, would I change my vote? No, but also there really wasn't the public rallying against that project when it was within the LPA. It really sort of gathered a lot of steam after it got to town council, and then of course with the vote at town council, I think that really, that really energized the base.
Do you think that did you see Matt's presentation or any pictures of the smaller buildings along the way, something he never showed to the public? Did you see that or no?
No, that wasn't presented to me.
Okay. And obviously you feel like enough public benefit was given to the town in order to get a yes vote.
It's a tough one, right? I mean, how much is enough, and et cetera. I mean, I wouldn't say that I reconsider my vote, but I certainly wasn't as sensitive to the neighbor concerns that I should have been.
So there is a chance, I mean, if you play it out, there is a chance that you could be on the council at some point, if not appointed, maybe you run, and then that writ they win the writ and it comes back to the council, then you got to reconsider the whole thing from the beginning.
Which is why I have to be very careful about what I say.
Yeah. And that's what that whole court case is about, is it's not a lawsuit or anything like that. The folks that filed whatever it is, the writ, they want the council to relook at the entire project. And it'll be interesting if they win that, because it will be a different council.
Yeah, it will be. And it's good that you bring it up, because I thought that was actually an appropriate way to question the whole process, as opposed to the recall. So very specifically, I thought, okay, that's working right within the rules. Let's go. That's fine.
I 100% agree with that because of the lies of that they've told about Karen and John. Do you think that whole thing has divided the community?
I think that there's different points of view, and people take pretty strongly, and I understand why, especially people in that neighborhood would feel that way. Everybody feels the closer it is to your own house, the more impact you have. That said, we also have to worry about island wide, right? What is the best for the island? And that's, I think, the critical issue in there.
So one of the things that Tom said, I just want to make sure I don't interrupt you, dear, if you're going to ask any questions, but apparently you're just thinking about going to see the baby, and you don't want to really, and you like the electric chair that I put you in. So one of the things that Tom said last week, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said, when it comes to, and I don't want to bring up a specific project because I know it hasn't come in front of you yet, but when it comes to maybe on the south end, if there's a bigger building that comes before you, as long as the community around is okay with it, the neighbors around are okay with it, that he might be okay with it. And then some people followed up with me during the week and said, well, that's not really what the comprehensive plan and the LDC say. You either believe in it or you don't believe in it. So do you think that you guys are really living on two different islands, where on the south end, these bigger buildings might be better off?
No, I mean, you have to look at every single project on its own. And does it matter where it is? Yes. And in fact, in the comp plan, they identify different neighborhoods. Red Coconut is identified as a special development zone. So there's very specific parts of this island that can be developed in different ways than other parts. All of it is very consistent with the comp plan and the LDC. I mean, we have these mechanisms that allow us to provide variances, to create CPDs and approve them. So it's all consistent with the comp plan. I understand that there's a real concern about massive height. I get it. But each one has to be looked at individually.
So that would be your answer to those folks, because we still see it, that are convinced that the 3 stories is the limit, and that's what it says, and that's what the intent is, and that's it.
But that's
right.
I do not agree with that interpretation of the comp plan. I just don't. The comp plan allows us to look at all the different factors that we've gone in. Is 17 stories appropriate? Maybe yes, maybe no. But the reality is it is not limited to 3 above flood.
And then they'll refer to other places that, were held to a certain standard. And then
Sanibel?
No, like here. like they were held, they kept their height down, and
Yeah.
other places.
Different time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you look at
But does
look
the
at all the
time?
rest
But
of the things we did. I mean, look at I mean, a perfect example is the lighthouse. I mean, they thank goodness they were here and were a beacon of hope at the beginning. They've came before us with some redevelopment plans. They did some redevelopment that looks incredibly tasteful. It's good. It's but did it have some variances from it? Of course it did. And it's great. I'm not so much pro developer as I'm like pro prosperity. I want to see this island grow and thrive. I don't want to see it get stifled. And that's what I'm worried that
Do you
we're
think it's
going down a path for.
Is it? Do you think it's stifled right today?
I believe that we are very close to getting to that tipping point.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'd like to hear what your opinion is, like you get a piece of property as a developer, you read the land development code and the comprehensive plan, you see 3 over flood or 4 over flood, whatever it is now, that's your starting point. Then you go around to the back door and you say, okay, I can put a CPT together or development order together and kind of create a new process. And we get that through, and then we have to go to the LPA, and then we have to figure out what all 7 members want as far as public benefit. And then maybe that public benefit is good for the LPA, but then the public benefit for the town council is different. I mean, it can be a maze for a developer, and I'm not sticking up for them, but it's not like the rules are clear.
No, they're not. But what the developers can do is bring together a package that they feel meets the requirements, provides enough public benefit, and then, quite frankly, I think they should do a better job of selling it to the public. You know, I think if they spent more time educating and less time just designing, they might be in a more collaborative way.
do you think public benefit should, there at some point they were talking about trying to define that, which it seems like it would be hard to wrap your arms around that. But do you think some guidelines or definitions should be enacted or thought about or volleyed around?
Yeah, well, we've talked about this a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that public benefit is primarily something that is of benefit to the public. In other words, it's not private enterprise, although there is some benefit to the public of having restaurants on the South End, which we desperately need, hotel rooms at the South End, which we desperately need. I mean, so is there a benefit? Is there a public benefit to economic growth? I would say yes.
Okay, but there's no scorebook where somebody can go in and say, okay, on the South End, I get 4 stories for a restaurant. On the North End, I get 2 stories for a view. There's nothing that's clear to a developer.
Yeah, but if you did that, right? If you made it that prescriptive, then the developers would be able to go in and actually design to that criteria.
Yes.
In a way that probably would negatively impact what the final product would be.
Really?
To them
I really believe so.
To them, to the developer, or
the
to the
developers
public?
are very sophisticated.
No.
They know
I mean, it would
exactly
be a negative impact to who? To the developers or to the town?
to the town.
Okay.
To the town.
So I brought this up. I'm not sure if I brought it up with Jim, but I sure know I brought it up with Tom. And I used the Sea Gypsy as an example. Like, you guys created this development agreement or development order thing because you wanted the mom and pops to come back. And you got Scott and Jackie own that the Sea Gypsy property, but it's a tiny property. And in order for them to ever recoup whatever investment, if they ever decided to rebuild the Sea Gypsy, they'd have to go up. But they have nothing to give you. And the only way you're going to let them go up is if they give you something, right?
Well, actually, I think that we have an opportunity to really help our smaller businesses on the island by providing specific zones, making sure that there are incentives for people like that. I think there's a lot more that can be done. We tried to do it with the development orders, but there's more that can be done there. We want those types of businesses back, right? We really do.
Okay, so you if you come up with a plan that says, okay, the Sea Gypsy how high would you allow the Sea Gypsy to go up in that spot?
I mean, totally hypothetical.
Yeah, totally hypothetical. Would you allow them to go 7?
I have no idea. I don't even
if
know
they
the
asked
size
you to
of their
go
property.
I mean, it's tiny. I mean, if he said if they said, or anybody in this area said they needed 7, if Salty Crab said I needed 5.
No, I mean, we've already. that's been asked and answered when you looked at what Terry came back with, and
well,
others.
that was a monster. Come on, that's such an outlier.
Well, he was asking for everything and everything.
Yeah,
I get it,
He
but
got nothing
I
to
mean,
what
it
he
needs-
deserves.
listen, reasonable, responsible development, I am going to support.
Yeah.
Some people may not agree with what I think is reasonable, responsible. That's fine. We can have that discussion.
So how do you fix the smaller property like you tried with the development agreement? It didn't work because the bigger guys were using it before. I think the ice cream Carlos probably used that, but it's been used by more of the bigger groups to try and get in, and it didn't work out the way you had planned.
And that's a great example of unintended consequences. And if you started taking public benefit, for example, and getting it so defined, then the unintended consequences of that, I think, would be very negative. I think you just leave it open, and it wouldn't be good.
So to stimulate mom and pops to kind of come back, this nodes or different areas. What else? Because we do hear people saying how they want the mom and pops to come back, but I mean, it's expensive. So how do you offset that for these, or can you? Can the town?
In some cases, you might be able to. In some cases, you might not. I mean, the town's changing. We know how much more it costs to build. We finally just got back into our house just before Christmas. It's been 3 years and for us to rebuild, and it's been very expensive. And it's no different than what everybody else has had to face on this island. There's nothing special about that. I mean, it's true for everybody.
Are there any incentives that could be offered, do you think?
That's potentially something we should look at. Actually, there's some thought to that, and I think that doing community development would be a goal that we should look at.
I mean, because that public benefit might be just that a mom and pop comes back. I think there's people that were really attached.
But
to
how
some
is
of
that
these small
consistent?
ones.
How is that consistent to anything else? I mean, it's not really consistent. You can't. And then somebody else comes in.
But that's why nothing's really defined. So it doesn't have to be consistent because there's no real clear-cut definition.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is. It just
Well,
seems like things, ever since the whale opened, it's a mystery what's next. It's a mystery.
I mean, when you look and see the things that have come back, right? When you look at the whale, when you look at Margaritaville as the basis for this, and I mentioned earlier the lighthouse, and then you see, things that are, whether it's the whale or the beach bar, we're getting some momentum. And if we, honestly, I think if we sort of fumble the ball at this point in time, we could see that arrest, and that would not be good for this island.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. I wonder what the next shovel in the ground is going to be. I mean, I made a post about this. You got Neptune, who bailed on you. You got Myerside, you have no idea. Pink Shell, who, when they got it approved, they said they had no idea when they were going to be built. So it's no surprise that nothing is happening to the extension of that resort up there. And there was Moss Marina. I mean, you've approved these things, and some of them were a couple of years ago. Now I know you got to go through design and permitting phases, but I haven't seen anybody put a shovel in the ground.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's an awful lot that goes into capital markets, right? You have to get the financing, and you have to be able to show that to the banks that you've got a viable business and that it's good investment to be put in. And in an environment that is growing and approving things, then there's going to be a much greater appetite to invest in this island. And if we start signaling to everybody that we are not open for business, then we will not be open for business.
So what are you hearing? Are you hearing that people do want to invest?
You've got too much feedback.
I do.
You're too close to your mic, or it's too.
Nobody's saying anything
I'm
except for
here
you,
it.
and you're
All
sitting
right.
behind the speaker. So how the hell can you hear?
You
what's
can
going?
hear it.
Do you
right?
guys hear feedback?
It's you on the end. Go ahead.
There.
I
This
think
is your
it's the
last
electric
Saturday
chairs.
show. I like it when nobody argues with me on Saturday. Holy moly! Save it for Sunday. So I don't even remember my question. Oh, the bankers. Are the bankers saying to you that they're worried or not worried?
Well, I'm not actually speaking directly to the bankers because I'm not looking for financing for any of these projects. But I think what we've seen is that the projects aren't moving forward. And I think that there's uncertainty in the market, and that's never a good thing for investment.
Were you surprised to see the Neptune bail?
Not really, because they actually said right off the bat that I mean, that was not the model that they had invested in, right? They were going to come in and make incremental changes and improvements and then operate it. And that's the business they're in. I think that the approval that they have now, the entitlements to build what they have, will make it a more viable project for them or somebody else to come in and take it over.
Have you heard if there are any bites on that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
No, I think it's unfair to put them in some sort of category, dear, because I think it's a heavy lift that they were not prepared to do. That's not when they bought it under those circumstances, and they just got caught in the thing that was Ian.
Yeah,
and it just
they got caught like so many else.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think there's I don't know how big the group is, a contingent on the island, and that like the way things are now? They like the fact that they can go down Estero Boulevard and see wide open spaces and wide open beaches and not have to see any buildings. And that's a decent voting block.
I don't disagree with you, but if we all thought the same, it would be an incredibly boring world, right? So I look at what we saw after Charlie. We had really attractive lots that just stayed completely undeveloped for over 10 years. Look at what Times Square, or not Times Square.
There was
Look
a
at,
building down here that was
absolutely this, and all of the downtown area was, I mean, sorely in need of redevelopment. And we're on the way to do that. Let's do it properly.
Yeah.
You were saying about getting more developments on and keeping things moving, but I will say I was down here for an opening in the evening, and you can scoot on the island, but doggy, when I had to leave the island from the south end to come back, and I'm thinking I do have a lot of time to gaze out into the open areas because you're sitting stalled. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around more stuff, more people, and what do you do with that? Because what did it take me, an hour to get off?
Yeah, but more stuff, more people, more spread out makes it a whole different thing, right?
One road.
We lived on and now live on Egret, which is where the Beach Theater is, and our best friends live on Ohio, which is right down the street here, and we couldn't come and see them for dinner. It just didn't work. We had to plan accordingly, and that's always been that way. If we can get some development, some more restaurants, some more things to do down at the south end of the island, then the South people are going to be super happy.
Yeah,
and
that will relieve.
Do you
think
of the pressure. That's some of the pressure then, or? Some of the traffic?
Well, absolutely. And I think actually traffic, I mean, I'm kind of happy to see the traffic coming onto this island right now. Yeah. I mean, there's some activity and some energy, and
they can get on it. Yeah, it was good.
And it's only going to last till Easter, so it's not like forever. So let's just go through the votes that you voted yes on Seagate. How'd you vote on Myerside?
I voted yes.
How'd you vote on Neptune?
I voted yes.
Moss Marina?
I voted yes.
And the Beach Theater?
I voted yes.
Okay. Did we miss any? Pink Shell?
I voted yes.
Okay. What is the deal with the theater? That seemed like it was going through and then it stopped.
Yeah. I mean, it's right down the street from us. So we see like a whole bunch of cars sitting there under that building. Yeah. And it looks like a bunch of activity. And then we don't see anything for a while. It seems like it's just it's not a consistent effort. Let me put it that way.
So the other thing that I keep hounding about is these private meetings that the LPA and the town council have with developers. And I've said it. I'd never get elected, but I'd never meet with a developer. Like you said, I'd never donate to a campaign, but we don't take money from campaigns. And we don't take money from developers, advertising or otherwise. Don't you think it would be better for you or an LPA member or a town council member to meet with any developer at town hall and record it on video, so there's never any chance anyone could ever accuse any of those 12 members of anything nefarious?
So we talked about this at length just at the last LPA meeting, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of things. Number one, I want to meet with everybody and anybody, residents, community groups, any stakeholder, the developers, whoever it is, because that helps me be better informed and prepare for what's actually happening during the quasi-judicial process. There are no decisions that are made. There are no negotiations that are occurring. And do I think we need to do a better job of saying who we met with, when we met with them, what was discussed and everything? Absolutely. I'm all for transparency around that. But to have to record every meeting or put that kind of burden, I mean,
who's the burden on?
It would be on an extra burden on the developers. I mean, we're running into all of our neighbors and residents and everything in the public. So I mean, how do you have different rules for different people? It's too much of a gray area because we've got like residents on the island who are also developers on the island, right? You know, this is a small community, and I think if we can be as open and as that's why I honestly believe the developers have to do a better job of educating and selling their projects to the public. I really think
and
that's
maybe
the
that
issue.
would limit how much time they need to spend with you or with a town council person. I mean, and when you talk about you know, disclosing what you talked about, is that just somebody's summary, or are you?
There's no summary.
I'm saying, but he said he thinks that should be part of it.
Yeah,
a better transparency about when and what was discussed. When you're talking about what was discussed, how granular? I mean, is it not videotaped or audio, but you know, should you have a stenographer there?
There's
I mean,
nothing. There's nothing.
I know there's nothing there. I'm asking him what he thinks should be there.
Well, I want the
up.
opportunity for people to just want to be able to share their opinions with me. Okay, full stop, because that helps me be more informed when I'm making, you know, hopefully a measured and thoughtful decision that takes into account all the stakeholders. So. No, I don't know that there needs to be like a transcript. No,
okay.
I really don't.
Wow. I guess to me, I can't believe I'm kind of like on the other side of this. If a developer says to me, I want to meet with you, I'm sitting right in that town hall with the videotape rolling because
I don't think you need videotape. That's
why not?
So intrusive.
Why? You want it to be intrusive.
No,
I totally want everything on the record.
No.
Because
yes, you want it on the record, but you don't want it.
It's not on the record now. What happens is the town attorney goes to each person and she says, you know, reveal your ex parte communications, and the LPA says, I met with Matt Price. And that's the end of it.
Yeah. So we need to do a better job of that. I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree at all.
And
what I am saying, though, Ed, is that when we do meet with them, typically it's an information session, right? They're telling us what they're thinking about and how they, you know, what they hope to do. And we sometimes get feedback of like, well, hey, you know, we're hearing from our residents that they're not happy about whatever the specific situation might be, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of that, but there's no, I'm going to vote for it or I'm not going to vote for it.
Believe me, don't misunderstand. I don't think any of the 12 members now or 11 members now, including Jim Matterholt, did anything. I don't think anything nefarious was done. I think that the fact that the meetings were held privately has given other people the opportunity
to make that
to recall two people. And so to avoid that in the future, because now we know people are afraid of heights. We knew this for ever since I've been doing this show. People on this island don't like high buildings. It's obvious they don't like high buildings. And so I would just, if a developer ever said to you, what's it going to take to get your vote? And
I wouldn't answer that question.
But the point is, if they said it to you in front of the camera, you can see the context of that. Because to me, the context, you could take it two different ways, depending on how you look at development. Now, if you see it on video, John can say, hey, I met with Matt on September, blah, 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 and the videotape is up on the town's. They can just create a second channel. It costs $0. I mean, maybe it's a burden, but I just think that kind of transparency, because of what you guys are dealing with on this island, because of what happened since Seagate was approved, I think people are expecting a little more transparency with private meetings with developers. But I could be wrong. Well,
like I said, I think that there are, I mean, we have people on this island that are both residents and developers, and it goes. There's just too many different variations. How do you put a rule around one?
But John, running into somebody at Publix, while you're checking out is a little different than somebody doing a 30-minute presentation to you. I totally get that. You can't record every single conversation, but a guy's making a pitch, and that's a different thing. He's showing you all the details and everything, and and some of these developers would probably say, hey, we did a presentation like Moss Marina did one after another at the Pink Shell. And Matt did a couple. He did one with us. He did one at the Pink Shell. And like you said, that thing kind of cruised through until the town council meetings, and everybody, lost their lunch at the town council meeting. So
right.
It seemed like it was going on an okay path, but then it wasn't.
The reality is, I'm trying to think about the meetings that I've had with people, and most of them actually do happen at town hall anyways, even when they were back in the trailers. So, it's not that big a deal for me. I don't understand why there is so much smoke and fire around it. I think it's a red herring. I really do.
All right.
So
you beat that one right into the
ground. I don't. We were talking to Kevin Ruane yesterday. They have a different kind of setup where they when somebody meets with them, it all has to be logged. There's some different system that they have at the county. Of course, it's a whole different animal compared to Fort Myers Beach, but there is a system where there's a little more visibility to see what's going on there. And I just think the way I see the island going now is you want as much as you can. And it seemed like the LPA members, all of them, want to try and figure out what it could be.
Oh yeah,
they certainly do.
No, we certainly had a lot of conversation about it, and honestly, I think everybody wants to do a bit of a better job. It's just, at what point are we just? I don't know. I think we're trying to find a middle ground that works, that's practical, that allows us to be as informed as possible. And then, quite frankly, the things that we learn, we then bring back into that meeting. You have to decide based on what's presented during that meeting. That's what you have to base it on. And if you've learned something that you're like, oh, hold on a second, I want to check about that, then that's where you bring it up. And now the other council members become informed of it.
Totally with you. The difference today compared to before Seagate is there's a contingent on the island that do not trust you guys because of what happened. And now I think you're in the mode we have to get the trust back of those people, because we trusted them to a point, and this group large enough to recall 2 people let us down. And I think that's where you are now. Like, it's different back then. They expected that not to pass. I think it's easy to look back now. That group was a big contingent that got John and Karen recalled. You could say there were other people that weren't paying attention, didn't vote. Well, I guess you could say that, or you can claim that, but that doesn't mean anything. They recalled 2 people by a huge number. It wasn't 51 to 49. It was a pretty decent number.
Understood.
And so I think that, and the other thing I wanted to say about this, and yes, dear, I'll let it go, is that if this came up by the Charter Review Commission and they said, let's just float this out to the voters, where we say no private meetings with developers, it would pass by 90% in any community. It would. But the people in power will never do that, because it's a power thing too. You get to meet privately with a developer and nobody else does. They could if they want to. Like Matt said, he'll talk to anybody, but they don't have a vote. You guys have the vote. Put it on the ballot, John. Put it on the ballot. It will pass by 90%. You don't think that would pass? No private meetings with developers.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think there should be allowed meetings. I just think there needs to be more disclosure around it.
Right. I'm just saying that's one that I think would be it's a slam dunk.
Got any other questions?
Yeah, I do. Do you have any other questions?
I'm sitting.
I want to know.
I'd like to talk about this a little more, please.
No, I would like to know what your thoughts are on flood panels.
Oh, wow. Flood panels. So I know about as much as, I guess, anybody that's paid attention for the last 2 weeks, and nothing about them before that, right? Certainly it sounds like, especially in the condos where you would be protecting like the electrical room or something, it's not, it's not a living area. That seems like there should be something that we can do to help that out. As far as people protecting their houses, absolutely, I'm all for it. Should they be like, they're just not allowed by FEMA. That's just, unfortunately, it's that cut and dry.
Yeah, it's crazy how that whole thing went south really fast in the last 2 weeks. But I mean, listen, the town's going to listen to FEMA before any company that's running a flood panel company.
Yeah,
sure.
I think too, give the town credit, right? They're really trying hard to communicate better and be as clear as they can be about, whatever constraints that they're running into, or whether it's the FEMA requirements or what it is. I think they're doing a really good job at getting out and at least attempting to make sure that people are informed and knowing what they can do.
It stinks for the people that already
it really does. It really does.
That's not a $99 install from the Home Depot.
No, it's not.
And we'll ask Will about more that tomorrow more. And there's also the town is they sent out a press release Friday about how they're going to do like a series of things about flood panels so everybody understands it. So if you're thinking about going out and buying them, and I know the guy that runs the company is not happy with some of the stuff we've been saying about it, you should not run out and buy them yet until you understand what the rules are.
Yeah.
And I think the rules are right now, you can't do it.
That's my understanding.
You can't get a permit for it. So
that's my understanding.
So the other thing is, do you think the millage rate should go
up? Did I think it should have gone up in the last when it was?
Well, that plus, do you think it needs to be higher?
Actually, I do think that we probably need a little bit more. I was listening to some of the testimony from some of the leaders, including Tom and others. Nothing is for free. Unfortunately, you got to pay for whatever you got to pay for.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, though. If we stifle the development on this island, then we're going to be seeing a very negative consequence to our millage rates and our property values. And most of the people that are invested here are invested with their own homes or their vacation rentals or whatever they may be. And property values is, I think, the absolute critical thing we need to be keeping an eye on.
And if they get rid of it up in Tallahassee, it's really going to not.
Once again, you can only talk about the things you can control, right?
Yeah, that's going to be crazy for you guys if that ever happens. So,
no, you can't control it, but if you have to deal with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think somebody needs to be able to clearly tell folks on the beach what the negative consequences, if there are any, and if they know what they are, to the lack of commercial development, because it will have to come back on the residents in the millage if you don't see a little bit more commercial development.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some really great residential stuff, but if you look at the residential market right now, we've got over 2 years of inventory sitting out there.
Wow.
That's not a good thing. We're getting turnover. I think I heard it was between 3 and 5% chance of selling your place any given month. I mean, those numbers are supposed to be in the 20 to 30 range. During the pandemic, they were up in the 100% range. Things were turning and it was just a much more dynamic market, and it's not very good right now, and we need to make sure that it improves.
Well, I completely forgot, in this bucket, everybody that's here in the audience, we just fill out a sheet. We have a pair of pool passes or umbrellas and chairs out on the beach here at Margaritaville, and we're going to draw a winner after the show. All you need to do is fill out your name, write neatly so that we can read your name and your phone number or your email, but you have to be present for another 8 minutes to win, and we'll do the drawing right after the show. So I forgot to tell everybody that at the beginning of the show. The resort is nice enough to give us prizes to give away every Saturday. So what is your platform, John McLean?
My platform is that I'm for positive development and growth on this island. I want to see prosperity return. I want to see us develop smart, resilient structures. We got to build them a certain way because of the requirements of Florida code and FEMA and everything else. We all have to do that. We saw 3 storms in a row, bang, 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 right? And it was not good. I watched my neighbors rebuild their house 3 times. I took 3 years to rebuild my wife and our house. I mean, we need to do things in a certain way. It's a fact of the matter. So unfortunately, that means that, the quaint little stuff, some of it is not going to be able to be rebuilt that way. It just isn't.
Do you think we missed anything that you want to share? I know.
I want to announce that my eldest daughter got engaged to be married last night.
Mary, congratulations.
Congratulations on Friday the 13th. I love that.
Grandbaby's on the way.
I hope so.
And no matter
No pressure.
no matter what happens Tuesday, will you run in November for the town council? There will be 3 seats up, including this one, John King's seat, and Rebecca Link's seat. Will you run?
Regardless of the outcome, yes, I will.
All right, that's 2 for 2. I don't think Jim committed to that. I don't remember the interview. Did you watch it?
I did. He did not.
He didn't commit. Okay, so there'll be 3 seats up on the ballot this Tuesday in November. This Tuesday, the town council will interview you guys. How long is each interview session, or is it a number of questions?
I believe we each get an opportunity to speak for about 5 minutes to just make our case, and then we're all separated. And then one at a time we'll come in, and I believe each council member will ask 2 questions. Then we'll leave. The next person will come in. They'll get the same questions asked of them. And then the third person comes in, and it's the same. And there's a chance for follow-up if they have further questions based on our responses.
So being that your name begins with an M, your last name, you're last. They're doing alphabetically, I believe.
So, yeah.
So I'll text you the questions while you're in the back room so you know what they are. I know they're asking all the same questions, which I think is fair, but I mean,
he's not.
I don't think it's
that.
hard to.
I think they're taking their phones away. I mean, yeah, it's not like anything's going to be surprising, right?
I mean, it's. It's
not like you're going to be back there, Chat GPT, and your answers to these questions.
I like the fact that the town has put some process around it. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and the way the process works, if it goes like, if there isn't somebody that gets 2 votes, I guess the only way that could happen now is if it's 2-2. You have to get 2 votes. Originally, I thought it was 3, but you only have to get 2 votes. But if they'll continue to vote, they'll take votes, and I think they'll even try and convince each other who to vote for, or why you're voting for this person, so to try and get out of the tie. And I guess if they can't get out of the tie, they could just decide to let it go till November. But it sounds like somebody's going to be appointed to that seat, and then you'll automatically take the oath and sit in that seat as the rest of the meeting goes on.
Yeah, from what I've heard from each of the counselors, they really would like to fill the seat. Believe me, everybody seems to be pretty, close to the vest as to what they're thinking, which I totally respect. But I believe that there is a desire from everybody to fill that seat.
So, we carry the meetings on our Facebook page. I think I know who's going to be appointed, of course, because of, my expertise in predicting these things.
And he's using the magic 8
your
ball.
track record is
not
your
very
track
good.
record.
So I'm going to, right before the vote, I'm going to pop on the screen, and I'm going to have like one of the Tim Russert whiteboards with the names of all the votes on there to see if I get it right the first time. But I really don't know. I'm just going to take a guess. But I think, honestly, this time around, there are 3 really good candidates that are running for that one seat, or asking to be appointed to that one seat. I think all 3 would make good council members. So, I mean, that's what's good, to have, a good number of people to choose from.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know Tom Brady. I've sat beside Jim Bone. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we disagree about some policy things. We certainly would all be able to work well together.
Yeah. All right. A big hand for John McLean, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks for coming on, John.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on Tuesday, and we appreciate everything you've done for the community. And before I read the ads, Dave Nussbaum's going to come up there. Dave, come on up. Dave's going to tell you about the winner. We had a big Murph Award winner this past week, and I want everybody to know who it was, and Dave's going to come up and talk to Kim about it. So you're going to talk to Dave about a cool award they give out and who won the award this time. So take it away, Dave.
We'll give him a minute to get up here. All right. Well, I'll just do a little jig while they're conferring on the information. Would you like to come up, or did he really put you on the spot? And
Put me on the spot.
he did put you on the spot. Now, hopefully that doesn't sting you. But since I put this paper here, it's better. I know you guys think I'm crazy, and I'll probably show up with aluminum foil on my head next time, but I'm telling you it's true. All right, go ahead. So,
First of all, I'd like to wish you and all of the ladies in the crowd a very happy Valentine's
look
Day.
at this suave guy. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. And that is a very smart shirt. I like it.
And underneath is the
Even
one
smarter.
of the original
Yes.
Beach Talk Radio shirts.
Yes, from the Pete's Timeout
From
days.
Pete's Timeout. I'd like to say Pete autographed it, but
I know.
he didn't.
He didn't. So what happened on Murph? What's going on Murph?
Well, we as you know, we had our Arbor Day planting celebration at the Blue Gym with a gumbo limbo tree, and we had a very nice turnout. Plus, we had a variety of trees that were sponsored by the Fort Myers Beach Garden Club. So in recognition of their efforts and the contribution, and the trees were given away to anyone that showed up at the ceremony.
Nice.
Because trees are, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest renewable resources that we have in this country. And they are a key part on the island for the environmental and
aesthetic, the whole thing.
Topography, stability of this island. And we lost so many from Ian. So the garden club gave us a check gave the town a check to purchase trees, and they were given away at the celebration. So in recognition of that, the Murph committee awarded the Fort Myers Beach Garden Club the Murph Award from this last month. And we've now got a little plastic award that we can give out rather than just saying, yeah, here's your Murph Award. Well, what do I get? You don't get anything. So we've had some contributions, and now we could actually give out a Murph Award. So
nice.
we gave that out.
So was that was that the first one you gave an actual?
No, we've actually we also gave a Murph Award to the Florida Wildlife Commission for two of their individuals that did some outstanding work over the last shorebird nesting season. In spite of the bridge going up, in spite of all of the sand renourishment projects that were going on the north and south end, Rebecca Schneider showed up and gave a report, and we had one of the most successful shorebird nesting and hatching seasons in Southwest Florida. And as we said in the meeting, for those of you riveted to our meeting on Beach Talk Radio,
just sitting there with their popcorn.
Fort Myers Beach, the south end, is one of the rare area, the only area in Florida where we have 4 endangered species that nest here every year. And we now have the least terns, according to Rebecca, that's going to be added to that list. And they are here. So we will have 5 endangered species that nest on Estero Island, Fort Myers Beach, which is the only one in Florida.
Thank God you don't have any coyotes. Do we have any coyotes on this beach? Have you ever seen a coyote?
I don't.
Well, and the reason I'll just go a little further and then I'll get off. The reason you put me on, you get a quarter, you put a quarter in, you get the whole quarter's worth. The reason that the FWC ladies received the Murph Award is that in the heat of the day, they were out there dragging iguana traps out to trap the iguanas and drag them off the beach because the iguanas were coming out and trying to eat the bird eggs on the beach. And numerous residents watched them drag out these traps and then pull the iguanas out of the traps. And they said it was sweltering heat. The girls were just killing themselves. And everybody said, this is above and beyond the
Call of Duty.
So,
John, that helicopter comes by during turtle season. You know Eve's going to pop out her AK and just shoot that thing down. I mean, there's no way.
Not it.
That guy, that's not 1,000 feet off the island. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know who that was, but come on, that wasn't 1,000 feet off the island. Take that up with your committee, Dave. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
you already did.
I did it.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you,
My-
Dave.
Thank
All
you
right.
You're
so much.
dismissed. Dave Nussbaum, everybody. You can find him chairing the is your leg okay there? You can find him chairing the Murph committee once a month. And thank you so much to Dave for filling in. And before our wife comes back, she's our wife, everybody. She's our wife. She's the show's wife. And we finished the show. I want to tell you about 3 of our great sponsors, including the UPS store, which is located in Santini Plaza. Boy, Santini Plaza is really filling up. It looks like it's almost full. Oh, wait. All we need is 2 restaurants in Santini Plaza, and life will be good down there. The UPS store, where they pack and ship. They have mailboxes available for rent with a physical address. They're open 7 days a week. That includes Sunday for those of you living in Lehigh. They have a notary service, print services, and so much more. They're located in the Santini Plaza, and the phone number is 239-747-6222. Oscar on the Gulf, where real estate meets real expertise. From securing prime waterfront land to building resilient, equity-driven homes and listing at max value, Oscar delivers results from the start to the finish. This streamlined approach maximizes your savings, reduces risk, and strengthens your investment. Buy smarter, build stronger, sell with confidence. Check out OscarOnTheGulf.com. That's Oscar, OZKR, onthegulf.com. And lastly, our friends at the Island Pancake House, which is located in the Seagrape Plaza behind the big pizza bus. It's behind there. I'm guaranteeing you. I'm telling you, it's behind that bus. They have a full liquor bar because there's nothing better than pancakes and whiskey on a Saturday morning. They serve breakfast and lunch all day from 7:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. It's all indoor seating, so when it's hot outside, they have full air conditioning, free parking. The tram's last stop is right there in the Seagrape Plaza. And they also have gluten-free options. If you have some kind of issue with gluten, you can ask for gluten-free options. Thank you to the Islands Pancake House. Thank you to John McLean. Tomorrow's show at 10 o'clock at the Wahoo Willie's. Will be sitting in for the mayor. The town manager will be sitting in. You'll be with the baby because our daughter's a little under the weather today. Go ahead. Wait, grab that mic. There we go.
We'll see. I got to get over there and
fill
in. Pinch
All right.
hit.
So the other thing I want to remind you guys about, the farmers market here is open today in Times Square. We have at 11 o'clock, which is 7 minutes ago, Ellie's got a little presentation going on about the past decades on Fort Myers Beach down at the Historical Society. And the fashion show is underway, sponsored by the Community Foundation down in Santini Plaza. So thank you all for coming to the show today. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.